Hello and welcome back to In Stitches with Jackie. If you're new, welcome. Today is Tuesday, 8/26. Wonderful day, son's birthday. And I thought I would do a video showing the projects that I started or I completed, all the embroidery projects that I worked on at the Sleep in Your Own Bed Embroidery Retreat at my local quilt shop. I do these retreats a lot. I absolutely love them. They're 3 days in length. It's 12 hours a day, so it's 8 to 8. They serve us lunch. They always do a great job with that. And it's pretty much a normal group of us with some new people thrown in. And we just always have a good time. And the owner of the quilt shop, or owners, and the women that work there are just awesome, and they are always able to help you, and just very, very accommodating shop. We also get 20% discount on anything we spend while we're there, so there you go. So the first thing that I am going to show is called it's from Claudia's Creations, and I believe this was the Easter, so this was the Easter summer pattern. So she comes out with new projects or new embroidery design exclusives. She comes out with quite a few of them, but this was the Easter one, and then there's like a nativity, kind of like more of a kind of like a holy one. I did the Easter fun one. And I would say to this point, and this is not finished, the whole middle of the embroidery section is finished, and I will show that. But these are exclusive classes that you take. It's usually 3 days in length, and you choose what design you want to do. As a matter of fact, I signed up for one for next month, and I am going to do a Christmas, so it's called Snow Country Express. Absolutely beautiful. My local quilt shop is a Claudia Creations. They are certified instructors, but these particular exclusives have to be done with her. So she does the Zoom. She joins by Zoom. Before, she used to join in person, and you work on these projects, and then obviously you have to finishing them up on your own. So this is fully an embroidery project. I wanted to show, oh my God, I pressed this. Now you do get a lot of like bunching of your fabric and stuff. This all has to be finished. And it's going to get pressed kind of like this. You end up putting some SF 101. But I wanted to show these marking pens that before I did this project, did not know anything about. They're called Duo. And you can get ones that have, and then this is the Duo eraser. And you can get ones that have like a larger and smaller, oh, wait a minute. Out of focus. I don't know why. There we go. Sorry about that. So you can get the pens that have like the larger marker on one side, and then the thinner one on the fine line on the other end. This one right here is just a regular. It's a medium, called a medium. So when you mark the fabric for these particular designs, or this design set, you don't want your marks to go away, because you are trying to press and keep things like I don't mean that you're going over this with an iron constantly, but you pre-mark this fabric, and you can see these marks from before. They eventually fade away, but this is what the marking is. Now it's not removed with an iron or spraying water on. It's removed by using your eraser. So you just take and you use the eraser, and it's gone. Now, I never knew anything about these marking systems, and if you want to mark something and you don't want those marks to disappear. Like sometimes at the clear blue tiles, I mark them with my, my fine lines, and those disappear with iron. I forget, I go to press something and they're all gone. This is a guarantee that your marks aren't going to go away until you take your little eraser and you erase them. So just wanted to show these. I think that they are really good if you like to mark stuff and you know that you're still going to be ironing. Boy, that keeps taking my thing out of focus. I don't know why. It doesn't like that. So, okay, back in focus again. Is the Easter one, and I'm sorry about the glare, but when I totally close it. So this is from what and let me reset this. So I had to stand up to show the whole thing, and you still can't really see the whole thing. But this is all embroidery. Now this was a medallion, so this was a separate embroidery. And then you do the doves, and then this was this little then you do like the medallion. So then you turn it inside out, you iron it, and then you stitch it into the middle. So this is separate from the rest. There's two different designs for the middle, but I really want to show the digitizing on these. It is just gorgeous digitizing, but I will say that the stitch out is very long. Like it's unbelievable how long it takes for this stuff to stitch out. And I want to say I was trying to keep as best track as I could, but all of this whole top here, I spent I spent another retreat, one day of this retreat, plus the actual class, plus I did a few of the grass things at home. I estimated it at about 60 to 80 stitch hours so far. And I am supposed to put some other designs in the corners there. This is supposed to be squared off. This is an example of a finished one. You could see how nice and flat the fabric is. She's got that nicely pressed. It is not quilted yet, and it has the checkerboard border placed, and it makes this project square. So again, you can leave it round and not do that. Also in the corners, there are designs to be stitched in the corners as well if you decide to do them before finishing it off. I'm not sure I'm going to do that. I could decide to keep this round. Now, you see all this wonkiness here. This all needs to just be really, really well pressed. And if I find that I'm having a problem, I can always take this medallion off, kind of spread my fabric to the middle, put this on again. But what I was going to do is I think it has to be really, really ironed well again. And I'm probably going to go just with my Bernina, my BSR, and I'm going to quilt. Just do like some light meandering, nothing crazy. So I wanted to show some of the ones up close really fast. I wish I had permission to show some of these stitch outs. I definitely would not be able to show how the measuring goes. That is all stuff you learn in class, and those are all the exclusivity of paying for these because they're not cheap. They're definitely more expensive than your normal class. And I will start with my most favorite, and that is the horse and buggy with the bunny. I mean, how beautiful is that? Now, I could have taken pieces of Mylar under all of this, and you just have to see the stitching on this. The digitizing is just unbelievable. And that's why I love her designs. And, even though it's a bit costly you can't purchase these designs. You have to take the workshops in order to get them. So, I mean, just how beautiful is this? And now the grass border with the eggs, this is all done in sections. I want to say this was my last section. It was an egg at each end to kind of connect the grass. I love that there's a little bit of complexity to this to figure these things out, right? I mean, it's really very, very nice. I had to pause that because somebody was going past the back window there. All right, then the next stitch out was, well, not in any particular order, but you have the bunny and the little ducks and the chickie. These are supposed to be little jelly beans. Again, this grass goes all the way around, and I don't know if you can tell in here, but this is some heavy stitching. And then everything, what I love about her designs, everything is traced then with the black thread. So at first you just see this gob of green, and then you just watch as the black stitching fills it all in and turns it into what it's supposed to be. I really love that about these. And then this is the basket with eggs, and it got some, I kept calling them leaves, but they're feathers. And then more eggs. Some of the eggs repeat themselves. I never follow colors, so she does give all the colors, but you know, you're free to do your own. This is probably a close second for my favorite design, but I love the umbrellas with the little puddles. You can see the way her stitches are digitized. Our stitches I could put like right here for the boots. I could definitely put a little bit of mylar or something in there if I wanted to make those look a little iridescent. Very nice option. Or like for these, and I don't really know much about flowers, so I don't know what these are, but I could put like a little bit of the, you know, the nice rainbow or purple, light purple mylar would be pretty. Then you got some butterflies and some additional flowers. And then we have the bunnies. Love the bunnies, and they're just kind of hopping around. You got the carrots. All of this background fabric, what I did here to this kind of looks a little puckered up. I took the Laura Star and I just like, you know, I did a little too much steaming on it, and it kind of crippled up, but that will loosen up. And then we got the basket. Look at how pretty that is. Just gorgeous. Like there's nothing on here that, you know, you would say, oh, I don't like that. I mean, everything. Look at the Easter eggs. I mean, this is absolutely gorgeous, fully round. And all of this, you know, so all this is marked. You mark the fabric and then it's a circle. And then she gives you full instructions, really, really great instructions on how you match them up. And I kind of, you know, it kind of takes a little bit of time. Things are not always perfect. I didn't line my egg up exactly perfectly there. And I think there's a couple other little sections, but overall it came out really nice. Just something I started in March. I'm still going to have a lot of hours on this. Get it squared up and then put my border on it and decide. I might decide to keep this round, or I can continue to go. I really would like to hang this. This is not something, I think this would be beautiful on a round table, but obviously you wouldn't want to use it, right? So it's really going to matter when I start to quilt some of this, see how things are going to go. I have a perfect color, very light purple that goes very well with this background, and it's going to be pretty much just very much blended. So again, this is Claudia's Creations. She has a website. She does do her classes. Her exclusive events on her website. But if you are interested in doing these, you can go directly to her site. I will put website in my description. Not affiliated with her channel. It's all exclusive. I can show my project. I just, you know, can't show how I put this together, but I still feel like showing the outcome of it was worth doing. And next month, I am going to start my Snow Country Express, and I will show my my progress as I am doing that one. Okay, my next project that I worked on at the Embroidery Retreat is another Claudia's creation. This is something you can purchase at your local quilt shop, or I believe she might sell these on her website. So this is a sewing themed one. It's kind of the same concept. You could see how the fabric is marked, and then there's a circle, and then you mark where you're going to place your placement on your little circles. Now the nice thing about this is these can also be coasters. So they're basically meant, the pattern is coasters, but I put them on here. She shows it both ways. You can put it on here and make a nice little table topper with it, or you can make coasters with it. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to make some coasters too. You just take some of the like that Timtex stuff, put that on there, and you make some nice coasters with it. So just to show some of these, let me get a little And you could see this fabric is much flatter. Now I could do the same thing. I could do a little medallion in the middle. You know, it's gonna be nice to do something fun with this. So I have the thimble. And then there is the thread, needle and thread. I used a little bit of metallic. Let me get a little closer on that. I have my metallic thread there. And you can see even with these designs, it's all, you know, you go through a lot of black thread because she outlines everything in black. And then you have the tape measure there. So I was able to stitch this out. I think this project here took me a couple hours. You know, the stitching is pretty intense. Love how she did that. I mean, it's just, you have to see these designs in person to appreciate the digitizing. It's just awesome. And there is some fabric with some scissors, and I did a little bit of metallic there. I made a little boo-boo on this one, but you know what, it's too much stitching to say I'm going to repeat it. But I used my metallic, and at first I misread the color. So it kind of looks 3D. I mean, it really looks 3D. So you've got your rotary cutter, your scissors. I did that all in the metallic. Put some metallic here for the pins. I mean, look at how cute those are. You got your nice pins there. You know, you can purchase this one and stitch it. You don't have to sign up for any expensive class to do this. I love these. And she has all different themes. So she has, I think, Thanksgiving, Christmas. She has the sewing one. She has a gardening one. So you can get these in all different things. I'm also going to show some pictures. Somebody else was stitching up a Christmas quilt. So you could still do quilt size ones that you don't have to take the classes for. And there you go, there's the thimble. You see the, you know, the nice digitizing. I was able to press this so nicely with that Laura Star. When you go to the shop and you use the Laura Star, I was definitely a person who was like, what does this matter? This iron aggravates me. But once you learn how to use a Laura Star, and like, I want one. I want to get the portable one. It's like $700. It's like crazy, right? But I mean, I was able to, this was all, I started this, geez, 2 years ago. And by starting it, I didn't even have any of these. I just marked this. So the reason why I've come to like this marker so much is I had done this with a fine line and it kept pretty much disappearing. And so I went and I marked it with this. And even with steaming this whole thing with the Laura Star, it lightened these lines, but it definitely didn't take them away. And so I'm going to definitely do like a meandering type. I thought it would be nice to do like some lines, but I'm not even going to go there. Or maybe some type of echoing in the middle, something like that. But I could easily do this on my Baby Lock Altair, take it in through IQ Designer and be able to do the stippling in the background so I don't have to do it, you know, on my Bernina. So again, this is another project that I completed, and on to the next. So I also worked on, this is the Kimberbell oval, large size oval rope bowl. The actual rope bowl itself took barely any time to do. This is the embroidery design, of course, Halloween, and that's why I chose this. So this is made with shape form. It's actually like 2 layers of shape form. I used a nice grunge. I am a grunge girl. I love grunge fabric. Now you could see I missed a couple little areas. I actually missed a big area there. And so after you put this together, I was actually showing my friend how to construct this, and I was kind of stitching it fast. So I do have to go and all you do is go back and you touch up those areas. I have to take and put this, I'm just going to do something like this, and I am going to put my little lace spider, I'm gonna take my glue gun, get this wrapped up. This is gonna be a gift, and I'm gonna put my spider there. So very cute. I did not make, I had these pre-made, but I was able to make both of these. So I have another base, and I also have, that are pre-made, my lace bats. And I thought, how cute would it be to maybe stitch some of the lace bats, or put, you know, glue some of the lace bats in here. I don't know if I would glue them, but yeah, they would go really nice. So, and I can even do that on the side. Now, I did buy a variegated black and white thread. I'll show that. And I think when I put this one together, I'm going to use the black and white variegated. I was able to make both of these, and I did stitch this. So this is Superior Thread Omni V, and this is a black and white variegated. Looks like maybe it's black and beige. Anyway, this is a variegated black, and looks now to be like more of a black and beige, but that's okay because the rope is, you know, more of a beigey color. Now, I did use Kimberbell rope for this. Now, also with the other one, this is some, I want to try my hand at doing some of the fabric. And how you would do that, I don't think there's no real, way to do it, but you would take and kind of like wrap it around, and as you're sewing, you have your fabric on there. So I am going to make, I like that. I am going to make a smaller one. So this is the 8 by 10, and then there's a 5 by 7. So I'm going to make the 5 by 7 as well. These are just, these are really big. I mean, this is big. Made this one for my daughter-in-law. It's nice. I think you can put like some, you know, bread or something in there. I don't know that I would suggest that. It would probably, you know, dirty it up, but I'm going to keep doing my lace. Look at this, is purple. This is a purple one. Very pretty. So I think that's going to be a nice project to continue working on. Let's put that in there. And now the next project I was working on, and I believe that this might be, this might complete what I was working on at the Embroidery Retreat. And then I was just going to show a few things that I am going to work, upcoming things. And I hope that glare is not, it would really be bad if that glare causes a big problem here. Let me close this a little more. I think that might be good. So this is a Kimberbell project, which I'm really trying to move away from. I just feel like there's so much Kimberbell out there, but I own a lot of Kimberbell, and so obviously I'm going to get these projects made. I started this, I stitched this up in the embroidery machine last year, and never got back to it. So at the retreat, I decided to do the corner blocks, which are right there. And these are nice, and they stitch up pretty fast. There's a little bit of glitter here, and then there's a little bit of mylar. I don't know if you can see that. There's a little bit of mylar under the spider web, and then under the candy corn. And then the quilting is done last. For these, you're doing this. I mean, the quilting, is the quilting done? No, you do the quilting first. You do the quilting first, and then the design. So I did 3 of them, and I am going to film stitching up one of these and stitching up one of these. So I am going to do a video showing those, and then obviously doing the finishing. What I'm going to try differently is there's an inner border, which I do have cut here. I have my inner border. I don't have the outer border yet. Not quite sure what I'm going to be selecting for that. But what I decided to do is, instead of trying to stitch these small ones in the embroidery machine beforehand, I think I am going to, I've already got my SF101. I'm going to put my batting, I'm going to stitch it together, and then I'm going to put my batting in place. I'm going to put everything together, and then I think I am going to quilt the borders after. I think it will help to hold the 2 layers together fine, because I'm only going to be stitching in the ditch. So to do the quilting all in the borders, now I might not be able to do that with the outer borders because I'm not going to have much to hold on to, right? So I probably won't do it with the outer borders, but I'm definitely going to quilt these inner borders. I just think that they're kind of small, and they just might not be worth trying to stitch these and, you know, multiple hoopings and just a little tiny piece, and then you're taking it off again. I think I'm going to put this together, and then I'm going to quilt it, which is always an option for the borders, right? So I have to decide, though, what I'm going to do with these. I might end up, I haven't even cut the outer borders yet. So this is something that I am definitely going to, I'll show. I'm only going to stitch one of these blocks to show, and then one of these. And then I will show just the construction of it and how I decide to do the rest of it. That's why I saved one of these. I thought together very fast. So this would be a very doable project. If you were like me and you bought all these Kimberbell cuties, and I bought both volume 1 and 2, and I only stitched 2 of them so far, and I love the both of them. I will show those in another video. I did the Christmas one, I did the butterfly one, and I'm going to do the Halloween one, I'm going to do the Thanksgiving one, and I'm going to do the Christmas one. I have the designs, I have the background quilting that I purchased, so I want to get these projects done. And they're really nice, and they would make great gifts too. That was pretty much what I worked on at the embroidery retreat. So I would think for all of those hours, I would get a lot done. So I have this to work on. My 2 quilts were dropped off, so my Pages Upon Pages and my Party Patch were both dropped off. I used the same backing. This is the backing that I selected. I actually bought an extra piece because I finished off the bolt. This is a wide back. And I selected this for the backing of both my quilts. I think it's going to be gorgeous for them, and it will also show off the quilting. So I think the Pages Upon Pages one, the quilting is going to get a little lost, and it's a really cool, it's got spider webs with a little spider hanging. And then the second one, you're going to be able to see the moon with the diamonds hanging. So I think it's going to be a really complimentary one for a backing. I'm not really big with doing prints on the back of my quilts, because when I take to get them quilted, I want to see that quilting on the back. So yeah, I like to see that. And so this is like it almost is a gray. It's not really a black. And I'm not even really sure who it's by, because let's see. It looks like this is Fresco by Michael Miller Fabrics. I think that's what it's called. At least that's all I see there is Fresco Michael Miller Fabrics. Very, very nice color for a backing, especially for Halloween quilts. All right, that concludes everything I worked on at the Sleep in Your Own Bed Embroidery Retreat. I wish I could attend the one they have in December, but I am pretty much out of time. The one thing that is bad about not being retired is most of the hours at quilt shops are built around people who are retired. And I'm like, ugh. But anyway, please like and subscribe. Give a thumbs up. Please put any comments in if you were interested in any of the projects or if you're working on them yourselves. I did see that some of the... you can check Amazon for some of these projects. I did see some of them on there, but it's always recommended that you go right to the site of the, you know, the person, the creator of the projects, and give them your business directly to their site. Until next time, I wish everybody a happy Tuesday, or if you are watching this on Wednesday, which is when I'm probably going to post this, happy Wednesday. Again, thank you for stopping by, and please come back soon. I'm going to have lots more projects moving on through the year.